was like a giant's wash-hand basin. The children built a castle. Then Cyril wanted to dig out a cave to place smugglers in, but the others thought it might bury them alive. So it ended in all spades going to work to dig a hole through the castle to Australia. They dug and they dug and they dug, and their hands got sandy and hot and red. The lamb had tried to eat the sand, and had cried so hard when he found that it was not, as he had supposed, brown sugar, that he was now tired out, and was lying asleep in a warm, fat bunch in the middle of the half-finished castle. "Suppose the bottom of the hole gave way suddenly," Jane said, "and you tumbled out among the little Australians. All the sand would get in their eyes." Cyril and Anthea knew that Australia was not quite so near as all that, but they agreed to stop using the spades and to go on with their hands. They were just making up their minds that the sand makes you thirstier when it is not by the seaside, and someone had suggested going home for lemonade, when Anthea suddenly screamed, "Cyril, come quick! Oh, come quick, it's alive! It'll get away, quick!" They all hurried back. "It's a rat, I shouldn't wonder," said Robert. "Oh, don't be silly," said Anthea. "It's much bigger. No, not the spade, you'll hurt it. Dig with your hands." "And let it hurt me instead. Huh, that's so likely, isn't it?" said Cyril, seizing a spade. "Oh, don't," said Anthea. "Squirrel, don't. It sounds silly, but it said something. It really and truly did." "What?" "It said, 'You let me alone.'" But Cyril merely observed that his sister must have gone off her nut, and he and Robert dug with spades while Anthea sat on the edge of the hole, jumping up and down with hotness and anxiety. They dug carefully, and presently everyone could see that there really was something moving in the bottom of the Australian hole. Then Anthea cried out, "I'm not afraid. Let me dig." "Oh, I felt fur. I did indeed, I did," she cried, when suddenly a dry, husky voice in the sand made them all jump back, and their hearts jumped nearly as fast as they did. "Let me alone," it said. And now everyone heard the voice, and looked at the others to see if they had too. "But we want to see you," said Robert bravely. "I wish you'd come out," said Anthea, also taking courage. "Oh, well, if that's your wish," the voice said. And the sand stirred and spun and scattered, and something brown and furry and fat came rolling out into the hole, and the sand fell off it, and it sat there yawning and rubbing the ends of its eyes with its hands. "I believe I must have dropped asleep," it said, stretching itself. The children stood round the hole in a ring, looking at the creature they had found. Its eyes were on long horns like a snail's eyes, and it could move them in and out like telescopes. It had ears like a bat's ears, and its tubby body was shaped like a spider's and covered with thick, soft fur. Its legs and arms were furry too, and it had hands and feet like a monkey's. "What on earth is it?" Jane said. "Shall we take it home?" It looked scornfully at Jane's hat. "Don't be frightened," said Anthea. "We don't want to hurt you, you know." "Hurt me," it said. "Me frightened. Upon my word, why you talk as if I were nobody in particular." All its fur stood out like a cat's when it's going to fight. "Well," said Anthea, still kindly, "perhaps if we knew who you are in particular, we could think of something to say that wouldn't make you cross. Everything we've said so far seems to have. Who are you? And don't get angry, because we really don't know." "You don't know," it said. "Well, I knew the world had changed, but, well, really. Do you mean to tell me seriously you don't know a psamead when you see one?" "A psamead? That's Greek to me." "So it is to everyone," said the creature sharply. "Well, in plain English, then, a sand fairy. Don't you know a sand fairy when you see one?" Jane hastened to say, "Of course, I see you are now. It's quite plain now one comes to look at you." "Oh, do talk some more," Robert cried. "I didn't know you."